Before I begin, I need to mention that I started a new brand called Venomic Games, which I'll be publishing this game under when it eventually comes out. We got a website, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and a whole lot more. Links to all these will be in the description below, and will also be in the channel description. I will be posting a lot of game dev stuff on these outlets, so do make sure to follow there. Anyway, back to the video. So in the last video, I finished stage 1 of making my FPS game by creating AI-controlled troops. In this video, we'll start making assets for the game. My goal is to have a playable demo with one near-complete level by the end of stage 2. In order to do this, we're going to need to make a level to play in, and there's no better level to make than the most famous of all, San Juan. I started by gathering a ton of battle maps online, then creating a layered map with all the main aspects I needed to recreate, including terrain, rivers, roads, and buildings. Then I got set by recreating the terrain, overlaying that map from before as a reference. First, I established the general heights of the map before I smoothed things out to make it more natural. Then I created rivers and added the first terrain texture, as well as a simple transparent mesh for the water. I plan on getting most of my textures from CC0 Textures, which is a site that gives out royalty-free textures that are crazy detailed and have extra things like normal and bump maps to give textures that added bit of detail. Definitely give them a visit, and links will be below in the description. Then I got started on making some assets in Blender. First, I made this barbed wire fence and placed a ton of them along these river banks. I also made this tent and sandbag models, though the latter could definitely be improved with more polygons in a later version. But we still need some more assets, so I cracked on. Importing this asset looked great, especially when adding displacement, normal, and occlusion maps, which give the texture more feel and depth. I then started adding some grass and bushes using a pack of textures I got from the Unity asset store. And I gotta say, I love how Unity does grass, with all the swaying and slight color distortion. It makes it feel more alive. I also made some non-enterable village buildings, but since I was running short on time, I didn't make any interiors for them, so I just boarded up the windows and doors. If I'll be honest, these models could use some more improvement, with more details instead of just flat shapes. Not even the extra texture maps really help these models stand out, but that is something I'll worry about later. Alright, time to make some vegetation. Now Unity has a built-in tree creator, which is super optimized and even allows for wind effects. The only problem is that these trees look awful. The draw distance on them is stupidly short. For some reason they can only be placed facing the same direction, and these ugly looking stretched textures can't be given many of those maps I mentioned before, except normal maps. Alright, let's see if there's some external tools out there. SpeedTree. SpeedTree is the industry standard for this, and they were actually bought out by Unity recently, so maybe I'll get a discount or something, right? You gotta be with me. I mean, who in their right mind is going to pay $200 for an application that makes trees? And there's nothing for people who use Unity except for engine agnostic support. Like, I love you, Unity, but come on, you literally own these guys. I mean, look at Epic Games and their Unreal Engine. They bought Quixel, who make these photorealistic assets, and they give a massive library to everyone using the Unreal Engine completely for free. And they do this while still charging customers who don't use Unreal, as a means of convincing them to change platforms. Unity could do the same for SpeedTree, giving their users the assets for free and charging everyone else these stupidly high prices. But for whatever reason, they don't. Unity, listen to me. I love what you're doing with all these recent acquisitions of various studios and developers, and I love how you're using them to create some genuinely beautiful and impressive stuff. but make some of these tools available for us game developers for free, huh? Anyway, I could make my own tree models in Blender and import them into Unity, but this would just be too time consuming. So for the time being, I'll just use this free asset and one of the palm tree assets I made in the editor to create the level. And once that was done, I added some post-processing effects to make the game look better and... okay, what the hell? Going through some documentation, some of the effects I'm using won't work because of the renderer I'm building in. Unity has 3 renderers: the built-in renderer, which I'm using, the universal render pipeline, and the high-definition render pipeline. The former is used to make games for all platforms, including mobile devices, and the latter is used to make high-end graphics for only the most powerful computers and consoles. Of course, I'll probably want to use HDRP, but the process of converting all of my assets to use HDRP will once again take a long amount of time, which I presently don't have. So I'm gonna bite the bullet on this one and call it good for the time being until later down the road. I do think the game looks a lot better than it did before, but obviously there's so much more to work on. Some assets need improvements, nothing is optimized, everything is using the wrong renderer, and my editor is displaying a questionable amount of errors after doing literally anything. So here's the plan going forward. I'm going to work on the other assets, all of which I will create in Blender. Then before I release all of this as a demo to mark the end of stage 2 development, I'm going to create an entirely new build with the improved renderer and greater stability, all while transferring all of the content I have and will create onto there before running some tests and publishing the demo. If there is anything that I have learned from making this game, it's that we've come far, but there's still a whole lot to do. But that's it. In the next video, I'm going to work on making some gun models, and I promise you guys, you aren't going to want to miss it. Again, do check out the links to all of the new social media outlets for Venomic Games. I hope to be posting more frequently there than here. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching.